your podcast has come on my Explore. And I said, wow, like I really wish I could be on that podcast someday.
Oh
I'm here.
I'm honored.
All of these bags were getting made while we were exhibiting at the first ever pop-up, that's Weekend Window. And I still remember that before even I could, display them on the stall, 90% of my stall was just, there was nothing. It was empty. People saying that, oh, Maisha wala stall hai na, let's go there.
God.
And I was so underconfident at that time.
What exactly a person needs to do before pitching? So what is the prep you need to do? How should a founder raise their seed funds, say approximately 10 to 15 lakhs? Hi guys, welcome to my 5th episode of my podcast series where I am sitting here with Esha Shah, the founder of Maisha, and you have no idea how excited I was today because I am going to ask so many frequently asked questions to her, and the topic is going to be how to raise funds for any founder or any startup or even a designer or someone really like a beginner who wants to start something of their own, but they are really underconfident with the funds. So we will be asking the questions which are really very common in my DM, and I'm so happy to be here with Esha. Welcome Esha to my 5th episode. And
Thank you so much, Aneri, for having me.
I have to tell you, I'm a big fan even before Shark Tank.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing for me. And honestly, like I told you, your podcast has come on my Explore. And I said, wow, like I really wish I could be on that podcast someday. And I'm here. So it's like
I'm honored.
A great feeling.
So tell us, Esha, how was your journey? What did you study? And how did you plan a bag brand and everything about what you did?
Wow. I think life had pretty different plans for me. But I'm somebody who doesn't stick to those plans a lot of times. So I've done my schooling from Udgam, and post that I did my bachelor's in commerce because when I was in my school I had this kid of getting into something very creative and fashion and all of that. So I had this diary, NIFT. I wanted to go to NIFT. So that was like my dream. But good or bad, I was a little bit reasonably good at studies. So my father said, you secure your career first, and then all of these things, your hobbies or your passion can fall behind. That is what the perception was at that time. So, I just gave like a backseat to NIFT, and my journey with chartered accountancy started.
I see.
I did not want to do CA at all. Okay. So, just for the sake of it, I said I'll give my, the CPT, that's like the first foundation exam I gave, without studying a bit. And I was, by luck or not by luck, I don't know what, I scored 100 on 100.
What?
So, I just passed. So at that time I felt like, maybe, I'm destined to become like a CA. And I was like, that is when my journey started. So, of course, then I opted for like bachelor's in commerce. I was doing BCom along with CA. I did my 3 years internship. Like before you appear for your final exams, you have to appear for you have to do like a 3 years articleship. So that is what I did. And that kind of gives you like a bird's eye view of how things are going to be once you become a CA.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, this is not me. I don't see myself happy doing this.
God.
I love things that are creative. I love things that are spontaneous. I love things when I have to look forward to something. I've always been like a creative person. Nani aati na? That I used to go to my dadi's closet and like wear saris or do like chotlas from dadi's saris and all of that. So those 3 years kind of gave me a little bit of clarity of what I didn't want.
Yeah.
So even if I became a CA, I knew that maybe this is not where I see myself because I wanted to be happy in whatever I do. So that clearly I wasn't. And then came the time to, so I appeared for my final exams, and very, very half-heartedly, I completed my BCom, and then post that I appeared for my final CA examinations. And I couldn't clear them because I was getting married after 4-5 months.
Okay.
And I think that transition period of, kind of going to my parents and telling them that, listen, I really don't see myself becoming a CA. Not that they are very stereotypical or anything, but of course, the career was like something which was important to them. So I remember going to my, my husband's. He has a packaging business. So I remember going to his office and I said, I really need to figure out my life. Like, I can't be stuck like this. And what do I do? Like, I'm not happy with CA and I want to do something creative, but I'm not even gone to like a fashion college now. Who is going to what am I going to do with my life? It was a big question mark. And at that time, I said, okay, fashion, the first thing that came to my mind was, let me design clothes.
Okay.
So that's the first, inclination that comes to you, right? But it so happened that, tie and dye, and I used to follow a lot of international small businesses, homegrown brands, or big brands. And I saw them that they're coming to India and they are making use of the beautiful art,
Yes.
craft
Yes,
that we have
they
in
are.
our
Yes,
country.
yes.
With not a lot of brands are doing at that time.
Yeah.
I'm talking back in 2017, right? 2017, 2018. I said, more people, there were people who were doing it, but more people have to do it. And we have such beauty in our country, right? So, I saw a lot of tie and dye videos. I saw a lot of fabrics and all of that. That time I did not know that I was going to go into making bags. And then I thought I'll just make dresses and everything.
Yeah.
It so happened that I received, one of my friends said that, listen, they have a travel company in Ahmedabad. They said, listen, we want to gift something to our customers and would you design something for us? I said, I would love that. So they wanted to gift bags.
Oh,
And
okay.
that is where, I started creating a lot of tote bags, and I started tie-dyeing a lot of cottons and all of that. Experimentation I did a lot. And then I started making bags and, pouches for favors, wedding favors, birthday gifts and gifting and all of that. Maisha was nowhere in existence at this point in time. And it so happened that people genuinely started liking these products. And then I said, now is the time that I have to sit with my parents and tell them that, listen, I see my future in something like this. And I really don't see myself becoming a CA. I know it's going to shatter my dreams.
So this was after your wedding?
Yeah. Right after I got married. And my father and everybody, so my husband and I, we've been dating since we were in the first year of college. So we've been together for 14 years now.
Oh my God, okay.
So, we've basically grown up together. So, he saw that passion in my eyes when I was making these products and I was designing them and all of that. And so both of us, we went to my father and my mom and we said, listen, tamne joito ase to for the sake of it, I will just, give the exam and clear it, and maybe if I clear it, I become a CA, but I really don't want to do anything in this field. So I went up to my dad. Of course, at that time he was a little disappointed that you are putting your career at risk. And I said, okay, give me some time. We'll figure things. And at that time, I gave him an idea that I want to design dresses and our clothing, and I want to get into apparels. He said, see, there is so much competition in that field. How are you going to be different? I want you to do something that you can scale.
Yeah.
That is one thing that he told me, and I think that stuck with me. It has stuck with me even today.
Yes.
Your business has to be scalable.
Yeah.
It has to grow. There cannot be a stagnancy after a point of time.
Yes.
I'm not saying that clothing brands don't have that.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people already in that, in that
Genre.
genre. So he said, you've already designed these bags. Why don't you think about getting into that?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. I mean, I can actually think about, because eventually I wanted to do something creative because I really understand colors and I really understand textures and everything. And then I said, okay, let's do one thing. At that time, I'd already thought that, I want to have something of my own and all of that. And I said, let's do one thing. Let me make 100 pouches and we'll see. Because at that time, I was only making products on order. If you came to me and you said, Esha, I have a birthday party, I want 50 pieces, I will then make it for you.
Right.
I said, people are already liking this product. Let me make 100 pieces, okay? So my dad started laughing at me. He's like, aina karta rehwa chite. He just told me, it's, think big. Take risks and think big. He said, I'm giving you an order for 500 pieces.
Okay.
And I am very confident that you will sell them.
Okay.
If you're not able to sell them, I will buy all of them.
Okay.
But he said, I believe in you, and you've got to believe in yourself, and you just go for it. And that is how the journey started.
Oh my God.
From me convincing myself that CA is not something I want to do,
Oh my God.
to following my passion,
yeah.
to convincing my parents, and then actually making those 500 pieces, and not a single one of them was left.
Oh my God.
And that is when, in that period, I was thinking of names for the brand that I wanted to build, and this name popped up, Maisha, and basically it means life in Swahili language. So I had this vision that I am going to make bags that are colorful, that are going to have a life,
Right.
that are going to bring a smile on your face as soon as you look at them,
Yes.
and they're going to be made out of these natural yarns and all of that. So
Yeah.
cotton and jute, though, I had in my mind that this is
Right.
what I want to do.
Right.
And all of us want to lead like a happy, joyous, playful life, and Maisha is all about that.
Yeah.
So that is how the name came, and we did our very first exhibition in Weekend Window back in 2018, and that is when Maisha was born. So from like, it's been a roller coaster. I
Yes.
feel,
You know, I completely understand. Oh my God, I literally forgot the next question. So Esha, tell me, how did you start the journey in terms of finances? Were you bootstrapped, or like for how long, and from where did you plan your funds and everything?
So we've been bootstrapped since the beginning, till the time we came to Shark Tank. There's a story behind everything. So I'm
Okay,
going to,
yeah. Tell me, yeah.
So when we did we got a call from a brand in Weekend Window. They said, we are doing the show, Weekend Window, and would you like to participate with us? I said, absolutely, but I don't have any products ready with me. She's like, okay, just figure things out and, give me a call. And I went up to my dad and my husband. I said, listen, we have to participate in this exhibition, and I don't know how we are going to do this. I had a vision like what kinds of bags I want to make, but I had only few pieces. Like I had a few planters and pouches and all of that ready. So I remember we went on a field trip to Delhi, and I knew that I wanted to buy cotton jacquard material.
Okay.
I knew where I can find it. I knew all of my resources. I just had to go there and get the fabric. So I remember my dad at that time, he gave us 1 lakh rupees, and he told us, spend every penny and don't bring anything back home. Okay, just go and spend it, because he knows me. I'm not a risk taker. I'm extremely conservative when it comes to all of this, and he's a risk taker. So like a combination, a father-daughter, like this duo is like perfect.
That's like, yeah, very complimentary.
So my husband and I, we went to Delhi, and वो बोलते हैं ना कि it was like a candy land for me, because these fabrics are right in front of me. And I'm like, so at that time, of course, when we were starting off, we did not make our own fabrics.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the story is completely different, but at that time, we were buying fabrics off the shelf. So, we started with 1 lakh rupees. We literally got all the fabric that I liked, and we came back home, not a single penny left on us, and we made bags. And just to kind of, digress a little, all of these bags were getting made while we were exhibiting at the first ever pop-up, that's Weekend Window. And I still remember that from my job working unit, the bags are getting made, and my helper, he's literally carrying like bags on his hands. And before even I could, display them on the stall, they were all gone.
Really?
It was just surreal to see the kind of love people had for. So we made these bags called 3-pocket jacquard bags. Those were the first bags I ever made. Not a single one of them was left with me. 90% of my stall was just, there was nothing. It was empty. And I saw people saying that, oh, wo Maisha wala stall hai na, let's go there. Like,
God.
And I was so underconfident at that time. So that is also something that I think for your audience, for somebody who's starting off, I genuinely feel that sometimes we are so underconfident, or we kind of put ourselves under so much like a question mark. but we don't know how people perceive us. Like a
Exactly.
lot of times, like, you know, I saw that love and I saw that excitement in people's eyes when they got that bag or when they saw our stall. So, you know, that was just a little bit of
Oh my God, yeah.
story. But yeah, we started with that 1 lakh rupees. Of course, eventually when we needed money to kind of scale things up, or like for the infrastructure and all of that, it all came from my father. Whatever was required in terms
Yeah.
to grow or, you know, scale up the business,
Yeah.
in terms of if you talk about liquidity, or if you talk about, you know, getting a space to kind of have a studio, or, you know, to kind of have a warehouse or everything, it all came from my father. That was the capital that we invested. And then, of course, post Shark Tank, we did not remain bootstrapped anymore. But I think there's a time for everything. Till the time you know where you want to kind of scale it up. Like when we applied for Shark Tank season 2, we knew that maybe now's the right time to kind of have, you know, like external fund help. It'll help us scale better.
So what was that thought that made you think this?
So, you know, I remember that at that time we were scaling 3x year on year. Okay. But you know, that book, like, you know, you want to grow more and you want to do a lot more. And of course, at one point of time, you will have an investment crunch. You will have a capital crunch, because all of that money was coming from home. Like, you know, of course, like, you know, I mean, not that we were not going to give him that money back, but it was all coming from him.
Yes.
So after a point, to get that kind of money to build the brand was very important. We also felt like, okay, so just to give you an example, when Shark Tank season 1 came, my father is an avid Shark Tank follower. So he is like a passionate Shark Tank viewer. He's seen all episodes of Shark Tank US. And he then once told me, when Shark Tank was not even coming to India, he said, and that was like year 2 of Maisha or something like
my
that.
God.
He said, I want to take Maisha to Shark Tank. That is just
I think that was manifestation.
He just manifested it. And I'm getting goosebumps when I'm telling you this. When Shark Tank season 1 was announced, he said, I think we should apply, but I think we are a little too early. So let's wait it out.
Yeah.
We'll try next season. My God. I'm just having a lot of
Oh
goosebumps.
my God.
So we did not apply for Shark Tank season 1, because at that time, a lot of our processes were not in place. Like, for example, you know, if I'm talking about order processing, most of our sales come from our website, 90% of them.
Yeah.
So a lot of our processes, like the back end, was not very organized at that time. We also felt that we needed to become a little more organized, a little more growth was needed to go to the level of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
So when season 2 was going to be announced, at the time of season 1, we already knew that we wanted to go to season 2. So we started prepping up 1 year back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in terms of making our processes strong, having an organized, you know, like a supply chain.
Yes.
In terms of that also, having, like, you know, a standard in terms of whatever, because all of my bags, like, of course, initially we used to buy the fabric from the, like, you know, directly from the vendors, from shops. But now, right from the yarn to the Pantone shade to the color to the end bag, the entire process is done by us.
Superb.
So, you know, we wanted to have a standard for everything. We wanted to have our vendor set. We wanted to have, you know, like, we wanted to have Maisha to be more organized before we could go and ask for funds from anybody.
Yes.
So I think that was something we did.
Yes.
And I think we also felt that we wanted to grow, like, you know, we wanted to go from a 3x to like a 7x. And I think an investor's mentorship would have, more than the funds, I feel the mentorship would have helped us get there. So that was the reason we thought that it's the right time to go to Shark Tank, or maybe, you know, we also were getting a few offers from, you know, like VCs or investors, and we thought that maybe now is the time to actually hear them out. Uske pehle to we were like, so for me, Maisha is like not like my baby, it's my first baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm extremely possessive about Maisha. So I was like, I don't want only any outsider in my company. Like, you know, what if they don't understand my vision?
Yes.
And what if they will just take a different path?
Yes.
That is also a big question mark. I think maybe we'll come to that.
And I think a lot of people have that. Yeah. and what is the real reason that a person can understand at that time ki, okay, now is the time I need a VC
Yeah.
or an angel or whatever investment. So can you answer that, like when can a person understand that now is the time?
So see, what will happen is, after a point you are seeing that growth in your business, right? After a point you will feel like the next step I need to take is, maybe for example, like just Maisha's example I will give you. If I'm stocking things up, okay, I will need a place to put that stock.
Yeah.
For that I will need a warehouse.
Yeah.
And for that warehouse I will need liquidity. I will
Yes.
need money,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Number two is, for me, for example, if on an average when I'm launching a category, on that launch day, if I'm receiving an order worth 500 pieces, okay, 500 products are getting sold on that day, then I know that I have to have an inventory of at least 2x so that I can, kind of cater to more customers. For that also you will need liquidity.
Yeah.
Okay, and you, after a point, you will also see that limitation that,
Yeah.
okay, now I really don't have the funds.
Yes.
And a lot of times there's a saturation in terms of your experience and how you will also, because see, it's your brand, you're always, after a point there's a comfort zone also that
Yes.
comes in, the risk taking ability also kinds of,
Yeah.
that also
Yes.
kind of,
Yes.
becomes a little
Yeah.
paralleled.
Yeah.
So at that time, when you have a mentor who can help you scale up your business, or you can guide you in the right direction,
Yes.
if you're getting stuck somewhere,
Yes.
like, okay, how do I I want to have, like for example, I want to kind of have more SKUs, like I want to
Yes.
have more categories,
Yeah.
but I don't have the kind of funds right now.
Right.
Now I'm stuck.
Right.
Like, what do I do?
Right.
So for us, we wanted a combination of somebody who could provide us with the funds as well as mentorship.
Right.
So it of course depends on, like founder to founder.
Yes.
Everybody will have a different reason.
Yes.
If you're in need of just money, there are various options that you can
Loans
do.
or
You can
grants,
take
yeah.
bank loans. There are state loans that you all can take. You can also kind of borrow it from somebody, like there
Friends
be
and
friends and
family.
family you can borrow funds from. So all of these options are available. But when you're looking for somebody who can also guide you along with those
Yes.
funds, I think that is when a VC or an angel investor or something like Shark Tank will come into picture, because with those funds they bring in a lot on the table. Their experience is unmatched, I feel.
Yes.
A lot of times.
So Esha, tell me that what exactly a person needs to do before pitching. So what is the prep you need to do for getting into a pitch or whatever, Shark Tank or whatever?
So I think to answer that question, I feel like it depends on who you're pitching it to. Like if you're going on a national television like Shark Tank, you also have to understand that there's an entertainment part also attached to it.
Yes.
But if you're going to like a VC or an angel investor, then I also feel that it will have a different route.
Right.
So if we talk about Shark Tank, along with presenting the founders, so over there they are betting on the founders
Yeah.
more than the product.
Okay.
Okay, because you are the ones representing yourself,
Yes.
and you have to be at your best.
Yes.
So there has to be your vision, and how you are kind of explaining that vision to the sharks
Yes.
is very, very important.
Yeah.
Along with that, I also feel like an entertainment factor also has to be there, not to kind of just kind of spice it up or anything, or not to kind of fake it or anything, just that a normal person who is watching national television, who does not understand what investment, what funding is, has to relate to your brand, right? Because if that person is able to relate to your brand, maybe that person will become your customer at the end of the day.
Yes.
Not about like an investment or something. But I think these two factors are very important when you are representing your brand to Shark Tank. Of course, your numbers and everything have to be very clear. That I think is a prerequisite for whoever. And you also have to show the promise in your vision that, listen, I'm doing this and it's not a joke. Like, I am looking at this business and it's going to scale a 7x or a 10x in X number of years. And I see that vision coming true. But like I said, at Shark Tank, they are betting on the founders and how they are representing their brand more than anything else. And of course, your financials will say what you're looking at. When you're going to like an angel investor or a VC, you will have to be more organized in terms of how are you planning to scale up this business? Like if you were at 2x last year, how are you planning to make it like a 2.5 or a 3 or like a 4x? Over there it will be more technical, I feel. So they will, of course they will have everything, like, they will ask all your financials and they will have your numbers on hand, like, they will ask you what's the conversion rate when people are coming to your website. So you have to be aware about all those numbers, and their calculations are very quick. Like if you say that my conversion rate is, let's say for example, like a 30% or a 40%, and they will then directly relate it to the traffic that you have on your website, what's your EBITDA, everything, right? So over there it's more technical.
Yeah.
Over here, it's a combination of everything. And on Shark Tank, I also have to tell you this one thing, that the episode goes on for the shoot, goes on for more than 1.5 hours. So our shoot went on for like 2 hours, but only 14 minutes are telecasted. So what out of those 14 minutes is telecasted? Something that a normal person will understand.
Yes.
Not everything will come on TV.
Yeah.
And that's about TV. But when you're not on the TV and when you're off TV, that is when, you're directly speaking to the investors.
Yes.
That is when they are actually looking at the scalability and the growth of the business. Because no investor is going to invest in a business that's not scalable.
Right.
So that has to be very clear.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, is it necessary to be a private limited company?
So in terms of getting investments, it's not necessary. A lot of sole proprietorship firms have also come. A lot of partnership firms have also come.
Okay.
Private limited companies have also come. So that's not a prerequisite. But eventually, like, after, what's the next step after getting an investment? Tomorrow, if Maisha or any company wants to come with an IPO, at that time having a company is a prerequisite. You can't come up with an IPO if you're not if you're not a company. So that, I think, when you're starting, when you're having your own startup, I think all of these things are also very, very necessary to kind of think through. Because when we started, I remember we were thinking of having like a partnership firm, but then looking at the future, we said, having a private limited company, it comes with a lot of compliances, no doubt about it. But tomorrow, if I want to come up with an IPO, I have to have a company.
So when you have a scale in your mind, then it's better to be a private limited firm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it that a lot of people are afraid to have a private limited company because of the luggage that it comes with. There's a lot of compliance, and if you're not compliant, there's a lot of penalty also. But if you see that promise in your startup and you see your startup going to a certain level, there's no harm in having a company.
Right.
Because your next step after an angel investor is definitely going to be an IPO.
Right.
So I think.
Right, correct. And for the beginners, can government help in any form or way if we talk about funds?
Yeah.
Can we take any help from the government?
Absolutely.
Indian government?
So government is promoting startups a lot right now. And you have a lot of startup programs so there'll be different categories under which your startup falls into.
Right.
There are a list of programs that are there under startup government programs. So let's say, for example, if you, depending on the turnover or depending on the number of employees that you have, depending on what category you are into, all of these categories, you have different programs that are affiliated with the government for startups that can help you.
Right.
So I think that is a really, really beneficial program because there are teenagers who are having their startups, right? An 18-year-old is having her startup. I have seen like so many college-going students having their own startups, and I think that is when government will help them.
Yeah.
Because I've like a lot of friends have told me that not necessarily you'll always have the kind of infrastructure or the help from your family or your friends whenever you need that kind of capital.
Yeah.
So I think that is when startup programs will come into picture and help a lot.
Correct. Yeah. So I've heard this term a lot of times. Investors saying that I got an exit.
Yeah.
I'm getting my first exit on Shark Tank. Like Namita said that last time. So what exactly is that? And if I am pitching, like I am a founder, and I'm pitching to my VCs or angels, how can I convince them that I'm going to give them an exit? So what exactly is that?
So I think, as far as my experience goes, and of course I'll speak for myself, but my experience tells me that when you're pitching your brand to any investor, be it a Shark Tank shark or an investor, I feel like they're looking at the passion that you have in your eyes a lot of times. They're looking at the confidence that you are carrying when you are speaking about your brand. They're also looking at the numbers. They're also looking at the relatability the brand has in today's time. Like for example, if you're looking at like a lifestyle product category, if you're looking at bags, okay, they are also looking at the kind of scale that you've had, how you've grown, what are your next moves, and what is that one thing that is going to make you different from the crowd.
Yes.
So for Maisha, we were very open about this one fact. We said that we know for a fact that maybe our products don't make us different. Okay? What makes us different is the kind of communication we've had with our audience. Our journey, our social media community is our USP.
Yes.
So it's not necessary that your product has to be your USP or your product has to be a differentiating factor. A lot of times, how you are selling that product is a very important factor. Like I said, my experience tells me that an investor is investing in you and not your product. Product develop ho jayega. Okay, this is genuinely what I feel. But the vision that the founder has is what they are betting on.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's true. Because, when you look at... so when we went on Shark Tank and when they saw our journey, they said, how do you have 350,000 followers on your... I think that time we had 280,000.
Yeah.
They said, how do you have 280,000 followers on your page?
Oh my God.
And then they said that please show us how you're communicating with your audience. And I said, we have a clear funda. We have a transparent one-on-one and a very approachable communication with everybody on our Instagram. So my followers will think that I'm talking to them directly. And if you look at Maisha, it's not just a brand page. It's like a blog. So like if for example I'm going somewhere out, this is my diaper bag and I'm carrying this diaper bag with me, I'm going out with Agastya, that will become a story. I will not directly tell them, listen, this is my diaper bag and you can shop this bag, this is the link. I will never do that. Because that is how I think that makes us different from the lot.
I think that personal approach just
is
works
very
for you.
important.
Also the family approach.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So I think, the dynamics have been a big strength for us. The experience that my father brings on the table. Maybe, the passion that I have for Maisha. The marketing skills that my husband and my sister have. So it's a very good combination of all of us. And I think that all of that put together, more than our products, is what makes us different. And I don't shy away from saying this. That, of course, I mean, I'm not saying that my products are not good, but what I'm trying to tell you is that this is what makes Maisha different from the lot.
Yes.
Why does somebody prefer going to a Maisha than maybe some other brand?
Yeah.
It's because they are able to connect with us.
Yeah.
They still feel, even after having more than 4 lakh followers and more than like 1 lakh customers, even today they feel like Esha or Nayan sir are talking to them.
Oh
my dad is like, your dad is like, like an inspiration for us. We wish, my father was like this. A lot of times, there are so many customers who will come us and tell us dad. Like, they will call my dad. So that is the connection that we've built. I think that's the promise that even the sharks, I mean, Amit Jain saw in Maisha and he invested in the company.
Yes.
And I think that is, of course, very, very important. Along with that, I think that is like a number 1 to like 5 for you, your confidence. And then of course your numbers will speak for yourself. So doesn't matter, like doesn't matter where you're starting from. If you've done better than last financial year, you are growing.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
the truth about it. And I also feel that, you know, there's this financial saying that it takes 1000 days for you, for the business to start showing you results.
Yes.
And it's actually true. I also feel that that's very relatable in terms of your personal life also. It takes 1000 days for you to kind of, you know, like for example, if you're getting married, okay,
Yeah.
it will take 3 years for you to settle in
Yeah.
a new family, in a
Yeah.
new dynamics,
Yeah.
right? And it's the same thing in terms of the business.
Yes.
Along with the business,
Yeah.
you are also growing.
Yes.
You're also gaining that experience.
Yes.
It's a journey
Yeah.
where you and the baby brand that you have, both of you are, you know, holding each other's hands and you're growing together.
Yeah.
And I think that is what, you know, it has been with us. Like we have grown together.
I know.
Every step has been a learning.
Yes.
So I feel like that is how investors will kind of at least listen to you. पहले तो सुनना पड़ेगा उनको आपको, and then maybe they will start believing in you and then have confidence in you, and then the step will come of them whether they want to invest in the company or not, because their end goal is getting an exit. Okay, so you know, if your brand is showing that promise, if the founder is showing that promise, if the brand is showing the promise, if the product or the company is scalable, and there are opportunities for the product or the brand to diversify also, right? I think that is also something which will help the investors decide whether they want to become a part of your company or not.
Right.
But more than anything, for me, I genuinely feel it's the founder and the founder's vision and the sheer passion with which they work. I think that is what they bet on.
Right.
So you have to be, no matter, you know, if you've just started off and if you're doing a revenue of, let's say, like a 5 lakh rupees a year, okay, even lesser than that or more than that, whatever it is, I'm not putting a number to it. What I'm trying to tell you is that there are companies who've gotten funding when they are doing losses as well.
Yes.
Right? Because there's some promise that the investors are seeing in that company कि चलो 5 साल के बाद ये बड़ा होगा कुछ. Okay. So what are they doing? At that time, they are betting on the founder.
Yes.
So I think it all comes back to that.
Yeah. So and just out of curiosity, I just had this thing that I want to ask you, that how to get selected to come on that stage and
Yeah.
talk to the you know,
It's a
sharks.
long process, Aneri.
Yeah.
It's a very long process. So it took us 6 months, over 6 months to actually get on the Shark Tank stage. So the application start,
Yeah.
you have to register. That's a basic, I'm just going to quickly...
Please tell me.
So they telecast that this is when the lines are going to open and you can give in your registration. So you apply, that's the first step. If you get shortlisted, the next step is they will ask for all your financials. When did you start? How many employees do you have? What is your turnover? अगर आप मतलब like how old your company is,
right,
who are the founders,
right,
founders background they will ask, you know, what you've done and all of that, the dynamics also they will ask. This is on a very basic level.
Yes.
After that, if you're selected, or it goes a little more deeper, like, you know, what is the growth that your company has seen, what are the hobbies of the founders, what is your vision, where do you see your brand going you know, forward. Then they will also ask about the competitors that you have, what are your plans in terms of whether you're looking at diversifying, a lot of these details. This is round 3. Now the next round will be when you will have to, if you get selected after this, you will have to actually shoot a pitch as if you're going on Shark Tank, and you will have to submit it along with other details that they've asked you to. So by the time already your financials, like your balance sheet and everything, has already reached them.
Right.
Post that you're being selected. So at that time you will actually shoot a pitch as if you are on Shark Tank, and you know, you're representing your brand. If that is selected, you're called in for the auditions.
Okay, one more round.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there are a lot of rounds, like a lot of. So for us, every round, our motto was, next round तक selection हो जाना चाहिए.
Okay.
Like, you know, of course, our end goal was to get on Shark Tank and to make sure that our, you know, we get a deal and then to make sure that our episode is telecasted.
Oh, yes.
I think that was our end goal. But step by step, our goal was to let's at least get selected for the next round. Let's at least get selected for the auditions. So then you're called for the auditions. And once the auditions are done, then you expect a call for the final shoot if you're selected. So I think that is like a 6-month process. For us, I remember our audition was done and we started hearing from like 2-3 brands that they've already been called for like the shoot. The shoot is already done.
Okay.
And we'd lost hopes. We said, shit, yeah, you know, we've not received
my
a
God.
call. Are we selected or what? Like, you know, genuinely we'd lost hopes.
Oh my God.
And I remember, you won't believe at the uncanniness. We started our journey at Weekend Window. And we received a call when we were exhibiting there from the Sony team saying
This is like,
it's so uncanny, saying that you know, you've been selected and these are the dates when you have to come for the shoot. So my God, and I still remember I was 2 months pregnant at that time.
Oh my God.
And we received a call. And it just makes me very emotional. But, you know, they called us and they said that these are the dates when you have to come. And I asked my doctor. My doctor said that, Esha, try, you know, rescheduling it to once you complete 3 months. Like, I was 2.5 months, I think, at that time. So, and at that time, because it was too early, we did not even tell anybody. Like, only my family and my husband's family. Those were the only people who knew. So we had to call Sony team and we had to tell them that, is there any chance you can reschedule it to this XXX date? They said that if there's a medical reason, you have to give us the reason. Only then we can, you know, actually allow you. So apart from our families, only Sony team knew that I was pregnant because, you know, we had to tell them. And it so happened that, you know, like with us, with Maisha, like a lot of times what I feel is, you know, there's this filmy dialogue that किसी चीज को तुम शिद्दत से चाहो ना तो पूरी कायनात, you know.
And they allowed you.
Honestly, Aneri, that happens.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying that it's a dream or anything, but when you're surely so passionate, when you're working so hard towards something, I think against all odds, you know, things will start working for you. That will happen. Oh my God. Oh God. I did not mean to make you emotional. It's just that
I've seen you at a level where a lot of, even me with my mentees or my clients, we all have a dream. And I listen to so many dreams. And even I have dreams. So when I, talk to such people who have achieved something with their passion and manifestation, I feel, oh my God. So something can happen is that hope which we all have. And I think I've never done this on camera, but it's okay. We'll keep it. We'll not cut it. It's okay. But things happened and
usually
Sony said yes.
Oh, they said yes.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what happened. The whole shoot got postponed.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? The whole shoot only got postponed to the dates that I wanted.
Oh my God.
And to our surprise, we then got to know that our episode is going to come in the season finale.
Oh.
And it was something that, I felt like God is great. And I genuinely feel there's a right time for everything. And I think maybe that was the right time. I was very, very anxious at that time. I did not, only the Sony team, like the back-end team knew. I told them very clearly that I don't want to announce it on TV. So the Sharks did not know at that time. Because they asked me, are you comfortable sharing it in front of the camera? I said, no, I don't want to.
Okay.
So they took so much care of me. Which I'm thankful to them by the day that, the kind of care that they've taken of me when I was carrying Agastya in my tummy and I was in Shark Tank was just something that, only a family would do for me.
Oh my God.
So, it's been an emotional and very like a journey full of manifestations and Like, yeah, so auditions, once the auditions are done and when you're on the stage of Shark Tank, it's like you've been called for like 5 days and they prep you for
Yeah.
like a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
they will help you. You've gone with a pitch, they will help you kind of just regulate that pitch. And they will also help you with, getting used to. So their only motto over there is to kind of make you used to the jitters that you will
Yes.
get when you're in the tank.
Yes.
And for them, it's very crucial that you are at your best. Like I said, because they are betting on you.
Yes.
You're going to represent yourself. So I think they prep you for that, and that is when, and after that, the actual shoot goes on. And yeah, this one thing that I have to tell you, which a lot of frequently asked questions I get, is that is it scripted? Is what I get a lot. Like, a lot of times people come and ask me. In fact, yesterday only somebody came and asked me, is it scripted by any chance? I said, listen, no, not at all. It's very real. It's very organic. In fact, the sharks don't even know who the next brand is till the time they come and sit on their chairs.
Right.
And the gates open.
Right.
It's actually like that.
Right.
The door opens and
Yeah.
we walk in, and that is when they see us for the first time.
Yes.
So it's very real, and like I said, the shoot goes on for like 2 hours, but they're only supposed to show like a 15-minute cut.
Yes.
So there's a lot that goes behind,
Yeah.
and they will grill you, they will ask you questions, they will make you nervous. We got very nervous, I still remember. My husband fumbled, and then Anupam and Piyush and Amit, they said it's okay. Like, we've all been where you are today.
Yeah.
We were also there in front of
Yeah,
investors
yeah.
representing our brands. So we completely understand, how nervous you are, but it's okay. Take a 5 and,
Yeah.
you're fine. Like, we're here, we're all yours. So they make sure that you're comfortable, and the journey was just really, really amazing. My
Superb,
God.
superb.
Usually, Aneri, I'm the one who tears up
Oh my
very
God.
easily. And today, of course, I'm getting goosebumps, but looking at you, it just makes me so, I don't have words.
Even I don't have words like why this happened, but there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of listening I'm doing from people, so that's
Yeah.
why maybe I connected. And,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
But anyways, let's do the rapid fire round, which
Yeah.
is like a very fun thing, very quick. You can
I'll try.
answer the questions in one sentence or a word.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be asking quick questions.
I'll try to be quick. I'm not a rapid fire person.
No problem. So the first question is, how was your Shark Tank experience? One word.
Wow. A manifestation.
How should a founder raise their seed funds, say approximately 10 to 15 lakhs, if they don't have the funds?
For starters, I think going for like a startup program or like a loan will
Okay.
be, I think, the first step.
The best
Or
thing to do.
getting, like kind of getting help from friends or family.
Relatives.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the best way to go global for an accessory brand?
Right now, social media is the thing, I feel.
I know. And how do you get those kind of people who will be doing B2B businesses with you globally?
So, in terms of globally, I think for that, your brand will have to have like an existence on social media. Don't only share your products, share all the BTS, like behind the scenes. People want to look at the behind the scenes,
Yes.
the people behind the brand and all of that.
Yes.
And start creating products. If you're catering to corporates, start creating products in that genre and try approaching those people on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. World is virtual right now.
Yeah.
So I think that is where it will begin for you.
Yeah, correct. Okay. What advice would you give to your younger self who has just finished studies?
My God. There's so much that I would like to tell her. Just follow your heart and be confident that you can do it, because a lot of times, you question yourself that you're not good enough. So I think that is something, in terms of everything, in personally, professionally, that is something I question myself a lot of times. And I want to tell her that you're going to be proud of yourself in a few
Oh my
years.
God, yeah. Your marketing skills are impressive, I have to tell you, and this is the question I'm going to ask you for that. Can you share one secret for marketing your brand with a small scale business owners?
I always try and tell small businesses, founders who come and meet me, I said, try and be as authentic as you can. Because no doubt there's a camera, but people can see, people can feel the vibe. So try and be very authentic. Try and have a very relatable communication with your audience. They want to see how you're building the brand. They just don't want to see the end product.
Yes.
They want to see how that product is getting made. Who is making that product?
Yes.
How much effort is it taking you to actually be there? Talk to them about your failures. Talk to them
Yes.
that, listen, I also faced these issues when I was growing my brand. No brand can succeed without failures. Those failures only help you learn and grow better. So I think just talk to them as if they are your friends, and trust me, they would love to be a part of your journey. Talk to them of how you went from like maybe a 1x to 3x. Whenever you happen to do that.
Yes.
But simultaneously,
Yes.
also tell them that, listen, I know social media is draining. I know it's very difficult to be available all the time. I know it's very difficult to manage if you're a mom
Yes.
and you're doing a business.
Yeah.
Tell your audience that, listen, it's very difficult to be a mom and also have your own business. Show them the reality and just be real. I think that will make your brand different from the lot.
That will make you also as a founder different from other founders.
And in that story, try and put your products. Don't have your products and then build a story. I would say have a story and put your products in that story.
Yes, 100%.
Only then it will be, right now on social media, what content is trending? Shareable. Shareable content is trending. Why? Because people are relating. So for your brand to have those eyeballs, you will have to create content that is shareable, relatable. Only then Esha is going to send that piece of content to 10 of her other friends, and those 10 friends will send it to 50 or more people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That is very important.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Product दिखाओगे तो नहीं होगा वो चीज. Just to give you an example, I know this is not rapid fire, but if you want to take it, when we had Raksha Bandhan coming up, I created a reel with my brothers where, you know, there was this Hera Fairy dialogue that was really trending. You know, that like I'm asking, my brother is asking me, maal laya? I said, tu paisa laya? So he's saying, ye kya bag bhar ke laya? So over there he's showing the bag,
Yeah.
and the sister is showing the rakhi,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting for my gift. So and that reel was viral. We had more than 2-3 million views in that reel. Now it's just a piece of content for people, but at that same time, I am getting to get so many new people to watch my page.
Yeah.
So not all the time, but at some times, do these kinds of things where you are creating shareable content.
Yes.
For audiences.
Yes.
The span of you know, the patience level that we all have is reducing by the day. We are just scrolling and only looking at things that will grab our attention in the first 3 seconds. Let me tell you that.
Yes, yes.
And if you're not able to do that, you're not getting those eyeballs.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be very fancy, Aneri, trust me.
Yeah,
You don't
very
have
real,
to have you don't have to have like a very beautiful setup or nothing. Look at brands, look at what they're doing and how they're growing. It's just I've seen so many aunties doing some incredible job and youngsters as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in like a small corner of the room they're creating a brand, and that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think nothing is stopping you but yourself.
Yes.
You know, so you want to start taking that first step right now and just be you.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help you a lot.
Yes. Superb, superb. And I think the last two questions.
Okay.
Places people can find Maisha bags.
Okay.
So you can name offline and online both.
So you can find our products on our website, maishalifestyle.com. We have a studio in Ahmedabad. You can just search Maisha the studio and you'll be redirected here. You can also find our products on different marketplaces like Ajio, Myntra, Nykaa, Amazon, etc. And you can also find our products in different curated stores. Like we have our bags at different airports. 11 plus different airports you can find our products at Rare Planet, and we have 2 to 3 different stores in Goa, Pondicherry and Mumbai where you can find our products.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And the last question, what is it like to run a business where your father and your husband feel so proud to be involved with you as co-founders?
Oh my God.
How does that feel?
One word if I have for that, I genuinely feel that I'm lucky and I'm blessed.
Oh my God, yeah.
I think, and I don't know. I never imagined that I would work with my father and my husband. And that dynamic has just brought us, we were close and we've gotten even closer.
Yeah.
Because we fight, we work, we, share the sheer passion we have for Maisha, the love that we have for Maisha. It's all in one. And I think, getting to work with my dad is, I think, the greatest blessing of all.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And I'm immensely thankful to him to, genuinely, like, he's broken all stereotypes, and he did not even for once think that, he's joining his daughter's business. So I think that was something that I can never thank him enough for. Like, he never thought, what will the society say? So, yeah.
No, but the society will be more than happy.
Yeah. Yeah, the society
they will feel like, wow, like they are doing something great which we didn't do.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But there'll be a different, like a different section of the society will always also feel that, a father is joining a daughter's business. Usually what happens is, the parents have set up a business and the children, especially the boy child, is going to take it forward. If I'm talking about the general stereotypical society that we live in, right? It's a very different approach that not a lot of people will see. Of course, now the times have changed. But back in 2018, when he did it for me, I think that was something which at that time I couldn't see it, very honestly. But today when I see that, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just really, I cannot thank him enough for,
And that feeling might not, you can't be
I can't.
expressing
I can't.
it.
I'm extremely expressive.
Yeah, but
when
this
it
is
comes to all of this, I'm just out of words.
Yeah. This was fab, Esha. I really want to thank you. And to my viewers, I really, I had an emotional ending today. But I want you to, subscribe to my channel. We will be talking about a lot of fashion-related stuff with beautiful people in the industry. We will be answering a lot of frequently asked questions as well, which you might have as beginners. And thank you for watching it till the end. And thank you, Esha, again.
Thank you so much for having me. It was, I think, a joyride, full of emotions and full of, energy. I loved it.
Even it was I was most excited in this episode, I won't lie. But yes, overall, it was thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and share.